Hey guys, and welcome to another episode of Amesie's Corner. 09 WRX clutch. So, what's going on, Mike? Not too bad. Well, we got this car over here we're going to dig into, but I got to give this Volkswagen a quick checkup. These have a vacuum pump, mechanical vacuum pump that leaks oil. And it doesn't look like, let's see if we can see it on camera. No, maybe not. Well, it's down down that hole. There's a vacuum pump that's known to leak on these cars. And it's supposed to be like an 8-hour job. You're supposed to pull the tranny out to get to that pump out. But I came up with a way that I take the pump apart inside the car and remove it kind of piece by piece, and then take the new one apart and install it piece by piece. You know, 6 to 8 hours, 6 to 9 hour job. Took me about an hour. Definitely a score there. So, we got some beautiful spring weather. I think this is the worst spring I've ever seen. You know, I think we've had maybe one day in the 80s. Yeah, I guess there's the topic right there. But I just wanted to have a shout out for the old Legal Sonnet, my new daily driver. What a blast. Just having a blast with this car. These are temporary plates. I have Amesie, A-M-E-S-I-E, right across the plates coming. They'll be in any time. Can't wait, can't wait. So, here's today's project. I have to do a clutch in an 09 Impreza WRX. So, I took this for a drive yesterday to make sure the clutch was smoked, and the clutch is absolutely smoked. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to get this in the door, so let's give it a try. We'll see if we can get this thing to go. If not, I'm going to have to wait. We're going to have to push it in, and we'll have a jump cut to it on the lift. Well, hope it says me. Now bear with me. I'm going to try to do this while filming, which with a manual is kind of tough. Now I do know there are a few upgrades to this car. I saw a custom downpipe, a couple other little things. It's got a nice little grumble to it. Not going to rev it too much. So, let's see what happens. It's moving. That's a good sign. That's a good sign. I can't see nothing out these windows. Oh, clutch is all the way out. This thing does not want to go. You hear that revving? That clutch is all the way released right there, and it's just not grabbing at all. Alright. Well, we made it this far. Oh, we got Barbara opening the door for me. That's a score. That's good. I thought I'd have to walk around. Probably need some information or something. Oh, listen to that clutch. Alright guys, I'm gonna get some of this water wiped off of this thing so I don't get soaked. I'm gonna put this up on the lift, and we'll see you in a moment. Alright guys, we got this thing up on the lift. Let's take a quick look at what we put into it. This is your average clutch kit. You get your throw-out bearing here. This is what pushes the clutch when you push on your pedal. Actuates this on those fingers to release it. Here's your pressure plate. On the pressure plate's friction surface, there's this. This will sandwich against the flywheel, and what it sandwiches is the friction disc. And this is the part that actually wears out on a clutch. This is the piece right here that gives out. If you look, there really isn't a lot of material on a clutch, but it's not the thickness of the material. It's that there's so much around the hole outside that this is all actuated. Like you might say a brake pad is a ½ inch thick. Well, that's because the brake pad's only 4 inches long. Where here you got 24 inches. So they don't need to be real thick because they don't wear that way. And then that's how that would sit on there. And then the flywheel gets sandwiched and bolted around. And then we got some other parts that come in your average clutch kit. Looks like we got some springs for the clutch fork. Usually those will be used to go on the pilot bearing to hold that. A lot of clutch kits will come with an alignment tool. You can do it without an alignment tool. I've lined clutches up by eye. If you look down the shaft, you can see the pilot bearing. I've had all right luck doing them that way, but you can't go wrong getting the kit with the tool. And then they come with the pilot bearing. These kind of mount inside the crank. You get a little bit of paperwork and then a little bit of graphite lube, spline lubricant. So let's see what this thing looks like and what I got to dig into here. It looks like doesn't look like a real bad clutch. The bell housing bolts are all pretty easily accessed. Starter up there is going to come out. We got looks like a big 3-inch down pipe going to a 2.5-inch exhaust, but that has to come out. And then there's a drive shaft under that cover there. There's a drive shaft to the rear I got to undo. There'll be a center support bearing and all that. But let me take a little bit apart. I got to get these front shafts out. I got to separate the McPherson struts from the knuckles to get those shafts out. So I'm going to get these shafts out. We'll get this exhaust down. I'll open this up a little bit, and we'll see you in a minute. All right, guys. I got this pretty broken down. Still got a little more ways to go, but got the drive shaft out. Got all those guards and shields out. Got the shift linkage rods disconnected. I got that down pipe out of the way. All the bracing, got those axles removed. Took me about 40 minutes to get this far. Not too bad, not too bad. A little bit of a wrestling. We had some of the hardware on that turbo needed to be heated up to come off. Looks like that gasket was leaking a little. Still got these bell housing bolts left. I got there's a brace, engine mount right under that intercooler up there. Not too much more, not too much more. So I'm gonna pull that starter out next right there. So let me dig into this. I'll get this tranny out and we'll see just how bad this clutch is. It sure does smell bad. I kind of wish YouTube had a smell tube. So anybody that's smoked a clutch knows what I'm talking about. Kind of like a burnt organic smell. So I'm expecting a lot of dust and chafe in that bell housing. So let me yank this tranny and well, I got this tranny out on the ground. Hardest part about this whole job was separating that bell housing from the block. Boy, what a wrestling match that was, getting it off of those dowels. Let me get this light situated. You can see right here, that's a dowel pin, and the other one should be right there, but that one stayed in the tranny. Getting it off of those dowel pins, it was just frozen right on this one right here. You can kind of see the rust. But there's the clutch all put in the car. There's the pressure plate. Sorry about the whitewash. The pressure plate and the friction disc. That's the splines for the friction disc right there. So I also had, if you look up there, there was the intercooler up there. I had to pull that off just to make it easier to get that mount bolt, and the slave cylinder mounts up top. Actually mounts to the top of the tranny. Right at those two bolts. Come on, focus. That doesn't want to focus for me. Right there is where it mounts. I won't focus. And there's the clutch fork and the throwout bearing. So yeah, I'm going to change that out. I got to clean this. Look at all the dust. You can see all the all this black dust in here. I'm not actually going to touch it because it's pretty stainy stuff. But that's all that friction material in there. There's the turbo. Looks like he's got a custom Y pipe. Looks like he's got a custom Y pipe in this car to go with that nice down pipe he had. But yeah, pretty cool setup. So let me pull this clutch off and let's see what this flywheel looks like. The budget didn't call to have this flywheel sent out, so I'm going to have to resurface that by hand. So finding a machine shop to turn a flywheel nowadays can be kind of tough. It's kind of a dying art. Everyone just replaces everything. So let me get this pressure plate off and we'll see what this clutch looks like. Alright, we got this clutch all dismantled. You can see it did a number on this pressure plate. You can see the friction disc, yeah, wore right in, wore the rivet heads right off on the friction on the pressure plate side. The other side's not so bad, not as bad. Didn't hit the rivets, which is good because that means it didn't damage the flywheel, which we were kind of worried about. But look at all this. Look at all this organic material just flaking off of this thing. This thing all scored to hell. And then we come in here and you can see the flywheel. Got the light hanging here, so sorry about the glare, but you get the idea. So I gotta get that pilot bearing out. Those can be a pain. Some people like to pack them full of grease, and you hit them with the tool, and then it pops them out. I think I'm just gonna use a puller with a little hook on it, a small slide hammer to get that out of there. And then I gotta, like I said, I didn't really touch that. I gotta get that cleaned out and get that throw-out bearing changed. But I'm cruising along. It's 10 minutes of noon. I started. What time did I start this? 9. So I'm right in line with the times, even though I'm filming it and all that. So let me go have a lunch, have a little nosh, grab a weapon and a snack and a gurgle and a chooch, and we'll get this thing back together in a little bit. So next time you see this, you're going to see a nice clutch mounted up there and the transmission all ready to go in. So see you in a few minutes. Well, as can happen sometimes in the business, we get the parts, we get the car all apart. Now I get this car completely disabled on my lift. To move this car, I'd have to put substantial bits of this car back together to take apart. And the trouble is, this pressure plate just doesn't line up. It's just not the right one, And this is kind of the trouble we have with aftermarket parts. Some people don't really appreciate. So now I gotta scramble, and I've just called everywhere. Like literally, I called everywhere, and I might have the right clutch coming for this afternoon. Otherwise, if it's not the right clutch, and I have to wait till Monday. So yeah, this is the kind of aggravation that takes a job that's going really, really smooth and just throws a wrench. If I was a flat rate tech, I'm hourly tech, but if I was flat rate, I'd be so mad right now. Well, anyhow, we'll see what shows up for this. So hopefully there'll be good news in the next cut.